Today I will be explaining and adding on to what our professor had lectured about, the tension of community and individual bias as egoism. First of all, we are all individuals with certain desires, and we all belong to a particular community. Although individuals have desires while being in a certain community, not all of these desires are always satisfied. There are many reasons to why these desires cannot be satisfied sometimes. Dialectic is something Aristotle and Plato first mentioned, and this is something that happens when two principles are opposing to each other, but at the same time are bonded with one another as well. Moreover, the professor mentioned that two principles will crash into each other and create a Big Bang, thus creating a new principle. Specifically, there are four situations in which there will be dialectic. First of all, if there is a whole of events of a determinate character, there will be a dialectic. Second, if certain events are results of two principles, dialectic will happen. And third, if these two principles, like said before, are opposing yet bonded together, dialectic will happen. Last of all, if these principles are modified by the changes that successively result from them, then dialectic will happen. Dialectic is something that could obviously happen in communities because since there is a dialectic of individuals, it will probably lead to dialectic of the community as community is built with many various individuals. The problem with dialectic is that it is such a black and white principle, and this is not reality. Besides black and white, there are so many other colors, but people in Korea tend to not accept of those different colors. This is the problem, and therefore dialectic is not general, and it is not reality. It is just one point of view, and just a method. Also, the professor mentioned the terms human intersubjectivity and practical common sense. Social events can be results of these two principles. Human intersubjectivity, which is the psychological relation between people, is very natural and spontaneous. The professor gave an example with Romeo and Juliet. Since they can't get married according to their practical common sense, they followed their intersubjectivity. Practical common sense is not always good because, for example, the whole family of Romeo and Juliet did not allow them to get married even though it was authentic love for them. These terms lead to the idea that when practical common senses in a community are not modified by successive changes, dialectic individuals of a community come to be selfish or egoistic, instead of to behave well. When tensions are not solved, individuals shows egoism, which is an incomplete development of intelligence. A selfish person, or one who is egoistic, is intelligent enough to discover how to design and carry out a self-serving course of action. On the other hand, one would not be intelligent enough to notice and realize that he or she would be exploiting the members of the community. This way, this particular person would be making oneself unlovable for both oneself and one's friends as well. One would destroy the members of the community as well as their friendship and leadership. Sadly, egoism is always present in society. This egoism should be changed to self-love. Authentic self-love is different from egoism because self-love can make the community a better place. This happens because one who can love oneself knows how to love others and to be a good friend. Adding to this, a self-lover would be able to prepare him or herself to become more intelligent and reasonable, being helpful to the community. In conclusion, every individual should try to change their egoism into authentic self-love. In this way, the community would be able to stay strong for a long time. This is it for today, and thank you for listening.